Elm Court House was built in 1878 in the most substantial manner of brick on massive stone foundations in the form of a quadrangle. It has 3 distinct courts and spacious verandas all round the building. Including the 2 detached cottages, there are 32 sitting rooms, dining rooms and bedrooms, besides servants' hall, 2 kitchens, scullery, pantry, storeroom, dairy larder, 6 bathrooms. The establishment has a never-failing supply of the purest rainwater in all seasons. There is besides a large and constant supply of good water for stock and garden purposes in Waits Creek, which runs through the property.
Elm Court was purchased from Mr. Gerald Campbell in 1890. The Bowral Free Press and Berrima District Intelligencer advertised a new high school opening in February 1891. The Dominican nuns from West Maitland have purchased Elm Court, Moss Vale, and will open a high school for young ladies on February the 2nd, 1891. Dominican Sister Margaret Smith, documented a centenary of Dominican mission in Moss Vale. She writes that the name Elm Court was originally suggested by Cardinal Moran.
I would venture to suggest that Mount St. Mary's Elm Court, Moss Vale, would be a very distinctive and appropriate title.
Another landmark building on the site connects us to Mother Mary MacKillop through the Josephite sisters, who established a school in Moss Vale in the 1880s. Sister Margaret Smith writes that shortly after their arrival in Moss Vale in 1891, the Dominican sisters began teaching at St. Joseph's Primary School that had moved from Colorgan House to a small building on the Elm Court property. During the Aurora College years, the maintenance department set up their workshop in this building to service the growing Paulinean Catholic school. Eventually, the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres converted this building into our Visual Arts Centre and named it after St. Mary MacKillop, in memory of her connections with the original Josephite sisters, who pioneered education in the Southern Highlands district. Another important legacy left to us by the Dominicans is our beautiful chapel. Mr. Phil King, in his memoirs, writes about its early days. As children, we had to go up the Convent Hill to get to the Moss Vale main street. One of my earliest memories was the convent bell, which rang the Angelus at 6 a.m, 12 noon and 6 p.m. I remember my mother used to quieten us children while the bell rang. Sister Margaret describes the chapel. The Elm Court Chapel is truly beautiful. The marble altar, the original creation of Italian architect Mr. Agabiti, is a noteworthy work of art. A statue of Our Lady seated in majesty and holding the Divine Child rises from the centre of an exquisite broken pediment. In 2009, a terrible tragedy occurred. A fire broke out and badly damaged the chapel. Our sisters were heartbroken. It is often said that every cloud has a silver lining. The restoration uncovered the original beautiful mosaic floor under the altar table. Original statues were restored, a new floor and new carpet laid. The chapel has been restored to its beautiful original glory and was reconsecrated in 2009 by Most Reverend Bishop Peter Ingham. In 1976, the Dominican Immaculata boarding school closed. 2 years later, the college became the junior secondary campus of Chevalier College and continued to operate at Elm Court under Father John Fransman. In 1985, the junior school amalgamated with the Riverside Senior Campus at Burradoo. Sister Margaret Smith writes, "For 2 years, Elm Court stood empty and silent until the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres purchased the property. On the 22nd of October 1984, the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres, Hong Kong Province, purchased the grey house on the hill. the glorious Dominican chapel is in good hands. Qantas Airlines Flight number 28 made its routine touchdown at Sydney's Kingsford Smith International Airport. Appropriately, the flight left on Mission Sunday, the 21st of October 1984, and arrived the following morning. For the 3-century-old congregation of the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres, this was a history-making occasion as a new Paulinean mission in Australia begins. The congregation of the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres originated in France in 1696. A small community of women with Father Louis Chauvet and Marie-Anne de Tilly established a community of women to care for the sick, comfort the poor, and educate children in the poverty-stricken village called Leverville, near Chartres, France. In 1848, 3 sisters sailed to the Far East and landed in Hong Kong. The congregation branched out to China, the Philippines, Japan, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, and Taiwan. The 20th century saw missions established in Brazil, Madagascar, Indonesia, Bethlehem, Peru, and Haiti, and of course, Australia. Sister Celestine, SPC, in commemorating the 10th anniversary of the Sisters' mission in Australia, writes that during the 1980s, Australia was changing its attitudes to Asian students entering local universities and relaxing its immigration policies. Sydney-based Father Pascal Chang, originally from the Jesuit-owned Aurora University, approached Mother Lucy Ko, the Hong Kong Provincial Superior, with the proposal to take over the empty Dominican convent in Moss Vale for the education and preparation of overseas students. Superior General Mother Monique Bertrand authorised Mother Lucy to proceed with the project, and Aurora College accepted its first intake of students in 1986. The original motto was Lux de Oriente, meaning a light from the east, but was later changed to Omnius Omnium, from St. Paul's teachings. Omnius Omnium translates as all to all. Sister Miriam wrote in an early prospectus for the college. Both of these mottos are interrelated. The emphasis is placed on simplicity, which excludes all complexities of attitudes, acceptance and servants to all people, regardless of race, colour, religion or social status. The mission in Australia has expanded to include aged care nursing in Brisbane, pastoral care in and around Sydney through the Lane Cove community, and apostolic work through the Mentone House in Melbourne, such as ministering to the sick and elderly and religious education in the primary schools. Aurora College opened in January 1986 with Mr. Dominic Chu as its first principal and Sister Mary Joseph as deputy. In 1987, Sister Miriam assumed the role of principal and oversaw a steady increase in student numbers. By 1990, there were over 200 students. St. Joseph's and St. Mary's boarding houses established a home away from home for our students. The sisters continued to keep the local building industry in employment with new classrooms, a science block, computer laboratories, and a multi-purpose hall built. In 2003, E Block was completed with new classrooms and computer laboratories. The Visual Arts Centre was completed, and in 2009, the new St. Paul's boarding house officially opened. Sister Mary Joseph became principal in May 1991 and oversaw the introduction of the University of New South Wales Foundation Program and the Ellicott School. Sister Damien Lai became principal in 1996. 1997 saw the arrival of Sister Angelina Fong. Under her guardianship, Aurora College took on a new name, St. Paul's International College, to reflect its connections to the worldwide missions of the Sisters of St. Paul de Chartres. A succession of dedicated lay principals included John Gamble, Mark Donnelly, and John Bulters. In 2005, Sister Angelina led the college through the development of a new leadership structure that continues today. Peter Morgan is the head of administration. Michael Maiden is the head of curriculum, and Sue Warburton heads welfare and pastoral care. The college expanded to include Year 10 in 2009, and our first Year 9 students began this year. St. Paul's International College is now accepting enrolments for our first Year 7 students, who will commence in February 2012.
Sisters, principal, teachers, and students at St. Paul's International College, Australia.
This is St. Paul's Secondary School at Happy Valley. one of your sister schools in Hong Kong.
Our warmest congratulations to you all and happy Silver Jubilee at Moss Vale.
Happy birthday!